welcome back. You're watching Market Pulse on BTVI. Well, we told you as we went on the break, Symphony is a stock that's in focus today. You can pull up that stock and see how it's trading today. Well, it's in the green, 1.3% up. They, of course, have shut down their wholly owned subsidiary in the US. Now, what is the focus area for the company going forward, and how are they dealing with the whole demonetization impact and aftermath? We are joined by Achal Bakeri, who is the CMD at Symphony, joining us on the phone line to discuss more. Mr. Bakeri, thank you very much for joining us. Let's first understand from you the US operation, the plant that has been shut down. Give us a rationale and how much of impact will it have on the bottom line of the company?
There will be no impact on the bottom line of the company or the top line of the company, and this is not a plant which has been shut down. Our plant is in Mexico. This was a sales operation, a sales office, representing Mexico, which was established in the US, which has been shut down. We have already have a distribution network in the United States, and they will be supplied directly from Mexico, just across the border. It's almost like an overnight, freight journey. So instead of duplicating material, inventory and overheads, so we are going to be supplying to our distributors in the US directly from Mexico. That's all, so there is no impact whatsoever on either the top line or the bottom line.
Sure, but maybe it will be better for you if you've shut this down and those costs can be...
Absolutely, which is why this is exactly what we have said. It saves us overheads and it saves us working capital, because it sort of, duplicates inventory in the US here by, now in the change scenario, it will be produced as per demand and shipped directly to the end user, to the customer, to the distributor directly from Mexico.
When we ask you impact, it could be positive or negative. So here is the message that you're giving about the positivity of
absolutely.
This. All right.
Absolutely.
How about the demonetization, sir? How has that been, for your company? What has been the aftermath? Have you seen any kind of big impact or the knee-jerk reaction in the beginning? How are things looking now? Because we are almost, 50 days now, closer to that period. How has that impacted your business and your company?
Well, as such, we continue to produce and sell to the channel. The other seasonal product, which essentially gets, bought by the end user in the summer. So these are winter months, and so the end user doesn't really, surface in the market till at least another month or two. But the trade has certainly, has mixed reactions. While there is a sort of, a paralysis in the market, for all products, and like I said, we have directly not been affected, but all products, that our channel partners sell, electronic, consumer durables or whatever they sell, there has been a sort of a paralysis in the market, and things aren't really sort of moving. And so the trade sentiment is mixed, while they believe that this is something which is going to be short-lived, and the market should pick up once once the new reality sort of sets in. So the market believes that this is just a matter of time. Moreover, as far as we are concerned, we believe that maybe in the medium to long run, we will certainly be a major beneficiary of this, because 80% of air coolers sold in the country are sold by the unorganized sector, and so demonetization coupled with GST should give a huge push across all sectors, from unorganized to the organized sector.
That helps a company like yours.
So that helps our company immensely, we believe.
Right. But tell us, how long do you see this to continue? As you said, in the near future and so on. What's your own assessment of this pain to continue? Do you think budget could be one big trigger, and post-budget things should settle down, or you think next financial year is going to be as challenging as FY16, and only post that we'll start seeing some positivity?
I really, I wish I had a crystal ball, but I think, my personal feeling is maybe in a couple of months things will sort themselves out. I think by April or March or April or so, I think, the market would have accepted the new reality and life will move on. That's my personal feeling. Although, and I would say besides the market participants and our channel partners also sort of echo the same sentiment. They also feel that this is something short-lived.
Okay, so a couple of of months is what you are betting on. But tell me, sir, where have you seen more demand getting impacted? Was it rural or was it urban, or was it both? Both pockets in that sense. And where do you see now demand come back from? Because the rural story or consumption story is still weak as we speak to more corporates and companies. What's your own assessment and what's your own experience?
Again, I think this is across the board, and I think the revival will also sort of gradually be across the board. I wouldn't really distinguish between rural and urban, at this stage, because we've had a good monsoon. We've had, a host of other factors which have contributed to, like the OROP thing, and those kinds of, the seventh pay commission. These kinds of things are certainly going to sort of trigger that demand, and the demand which would have otherwise happened has sort of been subdued. But I think more of a psychological thing than a real thing. I think it's maybe in a couple of months all the old demand drivers will start pushing demand back up.
How much of an importance are you giving to this budget? The world is of course watching this one because it's post demonetization, and really the effort of the government looks like to remonetize India. What is your own expectation from this budget? What do you think the government should do to sort of boost demand or get the demand back in the system?
Well, I think it's they have to address sentiment more than anything else, and I think the sort of what one hears, what one reads in the press, I think the finance minister is sort of making the right noises, and if they live up to what they are saying, if they sort of walk the talk, then I think things should be fine. I think things should be fine.
Improving the sentiment is what you think they should
Absolutely.
do. Well, they are trying to do that, but any concrete steps that they should take, or anything that you're expecting the budget to address in terms of taxes and something that benefits your industry?
Well, the biggest beneficiary would be GST. Now it appears as if we would benefit the greatest from GST, but it appears as if it's been pushed back from April. So the sooner that happens, the better it is. Not only for our industry, but for across industries which are dominated by unorganized sector. It creates a level playing field, and so the sooner GST happens, it's sort of it's going to be good for us. Other than that, I think in terms of corporate taxes, they're talking about lowering corporate taxes. That should be good for us. Other than that, we are not really affected that much.
Right. So before I let you go, one last question on your own outlook, the business outlook and the plans. How much of domestic growth are you expected to see, if you can give a quantum, and what is the kind of global footprint that we'll see you achieve in terms of volatility that we are seeing all over? What is 2017 looking like for Symphony?
In the immediate future, I would say in the short term, our growth is going to be muted because of demonetization. So a couple of quarters are going to see some sort of an impact. But like I said, short-term pain is something which we are willing to endure for long-term gain, and we are convinced, absolutely convinced, that demonetization and GST together will certainly help the Symphony a huge deal. In terms of global footprint, we have acquired a company in China beginning of 2016 that has sort of begun to stabilize, and by 2017 or so, we should start sort of seeing the fruits of that acquisition. Apart from that, we are certainly entering into new geographies and scaling up in geographies where we are already present. So our international business should also see a good boost in 2017.
All right, Mr. Bagheri, great to have you on the show, and thank you very much. Good luck with your plans for 2017. So that's the view coming in from Symphony, and really the outlook. 2017 looks better in terms of growth and profitability. The stock up on your screens close to 1.5%. Well, we are completely out of time on this episode of Market Pulse. Thank you very much for watching. More news and updates coming in.